Hello everyone, this is a very exciting video for me. This is the first ever collaboration with my wife, Kimberly. You might recognize her from the live stream. She is the moderator of those. Today we're going to be making some promotional magnets for her online comic, which is Noodle Horse Comics, found at noodlehorse.com. Let's get started. The process for making these magnets is going to be relatively simple. We got some materials from Home Depot, we got some various types of woods. I think we got an oak, we got some of this poplar stuff, and then we have another piece of plywood underneath here, and then we just got some magnets from Home Depot as well. My wife designs everything on her iPad Pro with the little Apple Pencil thing. She does all the comics on there as well, and so we're just going to use the artwork from that, send that over to the laser, hit a couple buttons, beep boop, laser them out, and we have magnets. So let's see what the design process looks like. Both the comics and the magnets are designed in Procreate, and the process is very similar. It's just for the magnets, we're doing everything in black and white, and then we're just exporting that directly to the laser cutter, and I'll show you what that process looks like here next. Okay, so here we are inside of LaserCAD. This is the laser cutting program that goes with my laser. We're just going to import the graphics file here. There's the ultra fancy magnet. And this is way, way, way too big, so we need to resize this. So we're going to make this, we're going to lock the proportions, and then we're going to make this about 2 inches wide. So that's going to come out to 50 by 90 millimeters. That's pretty neat. If we look over here, these are our layers. This is the bitmap layer, which is this one, and it's going to be engraved, and we're going to change the speed and power later. But this isn't going to actually be cut out. So we need to add a secondary layer to cut it out. So I'm just going to make a rectangle. I'm going to make this red. Let's see here. I'm going to select away from it, click it, make it red, and then you can see it shows up over here as a cut. So this is going to be cut, and then the black is going to be engraved. So now we just need to center this over top of it. So we're going to unlock proportions. We're going to go 45 by 90. And then we're going to position this at 600 by 450, which is right in the center where this is. So that's all we need to do. It's going to go around and cut the red, so that'll cut the magnet out, and then it will engrave all the black, and that will be the actual graphics of the magnet. This little frame on the outside here is literally just a bounding box for the graphics and doesn't really mean anything. So let's get the settings on the laser and start doing some test cuts. I cut down little samples of each ones. I've got oak, I've got the poplar, and then the plywood over here, and I'm just going to do a test cut on each one of these just to make sure the settings are good before we do multiples. Let's see.
That's how I didn't do the eyes.
So then, it's off a little bit, but close enough. All right, so here are the magnet tests that we had. Let's first start out with the oak. The oak did not actually turn out all that good. If you look closely at these edges here, it's very resiny and really sticky and gooey, and it just kind of charred really bad along all the edges. It also used a lot more power to get through. I had to kind of crack this one out, and the engraving is really quite poor. It just doesn't really look all that good, and even with the tape, it just really looks inconsistent. So, oak is out. Moving on to the poplar, this one actually, is okay. I think this is Kim's favorite. Is this your favorite?
No.
No? That is not her favorite. I lied. We don't really know each other all that well, apparently. This one turned out good. The edges are nice, a little bit of sanding. And you could remove some of this if you wanted. That really didn't do what I was hoping it would do. The engraving looks nice. The grain and the banding is a little bit off-putting, but it looks pretty good. Then we moved over to the plywood, which was the most consistent out of all of them. The edges are decent, the edges are clean. All of these are after sanding, by the way. There's a little bit of inconsistency in the engraving, so we changed settings a little bit. And here it is with some changed settings. And looks a little bit better. And then here it is with the final settings. This looks really nice. It has a really good contrast, really nice engraving. And as you saw in the video, I tried to center the back, but I need to make some adjustments to that. This is the cutout for the magnet. I'm going to drill this by hand. But once we get this centered, we have the website on the back, magnet in there. So this is what we're going to end up going with. So let's make one of these for real. And here is the nearly finished product. Now, I say nearly because it still needs oil and some other stuff on it. We ran into a kind of an interesting issue. The engraving really isn't as good on this, and if we flip it over to the back, you can see that the edges are really kind of nasty. This is with a lot of sanding, and the reason why this is happening is we had it positioned a little funky on the laser. So here's what it looks like on the back side. You can see, look at all this charring and marking. And there's a kind of definitive line like right there. And if we pop this in, you can see that it matches up there. And then we have these two lines right there as well. The reason why this is happening is the honeycomb table doesn't extend all the way to the outer edges. So the honeycomb was stopping here and stopping there. And so where the fumes were trapped against the bed, you got this resin stuff happening. But where the fumes were free to exhaust out under the honeycomb, it was fine. So that's why all the previous ones didn't have issues with that. So that's kind of interesting. On the back of the magnet, I have this little circle with a little dot in the middle, and that is just a placeholder for where the magnets will go. On the back of these magnets, they show a hot glue gun applying the magnets. Well, you guys know me better than that. I am not going to use a stupid hot glue gun to do this. We're going to overkill this. Kim's using boiled linseed oil on the magnet just to give it a final finish. Boiled linseed oil doesn't really add much of a color or much of a stain. We certainly could use a stain at this point, but BLO is just a nice simple way to finish off the magnet. I'm just using a little bit of super glue to put the magnet into this recess in the back. Should work out just fine. There we go. And this is just kind of a pre-production prototype, so we'll fix all of this stuff in the final ones. I'm gonna start it out.
So there you have it.
There you have it indeed. Our very own little magnet for Noodle Horse Comics. So pretty impressive. So yeah, this was a neat little test run. We learned a lot about the settings and this and that. The engraving is a little bit different depending on the materials, things like that. But the plywood one worked out best. And we're going to do a little bit more on the back here, do a little bit more words and text and stuff like that. So hopefully that gives you a better idea of how you can make your very own custom magnets with your very own laser engraver. As always, thanks for watching. Be sure to go to www.noodlehorse.com for all of Kim's wonderful Greyhound-related comics. And also you can check me out on Facebook to check out all of the projects I'm working on, updates to my channel, and things like that. And down below in the description, there is a link to Amazon. You can go to that link and it helps supports this channel and all the little projects I do. So thanks again for watching. See you next time.
Ha ha ha!